Hey everybody, Superfluous J here with another, I almost said Factorio for Beginners, another episode of Kerbal Space Program, No Contract Career Challenge. Val and Bob are on the surface of the moon. They are about to take off, and Val is going to send Bob home and head herself to Minmus to dock with whoever we send there. That's the order of the day. We're going to hit the letter Z, and we are taking off. Now, we don't have to be very concerned about hitting any mountains because we're already pretty high up, and that's a pretty cool picture there. I wish Kerbin was on the horizon, but you can't have everything. You can't be on the equator and have Kerbin on the horizon unless you are right on the edge, which sadly we are not. Would still be cool. And anyway, Kerbin would then be over there or over there, and we are going to burn up so that we're in a nice circular orbit. And then we are going to chill out until we are at a good connection point to Minmus. What we're going to do here is we're going to turn off Force Science. Bob is going to go EVA, take all the data out of her pod, and put it in his own pod. That way, when he lands on the surface, he's going to get we're going to get all that science in order to make the next ship. Let's set Minmus as our target, and we'll kind of look at it. And this is where the orbit of Minmus and Moon cross, is right here. So we want Moon to be here when we eject. So we're gonna fast forward. Gonna hit F5 as you always do. We're gonna fast forward a bunch until Moon gets over here. I'm hitting F5 here, and I'm not gonna hit it again until Bob lands safely, because this is gonna be the last chance we're gonna have to. Well, maybe I'll hit it right before we disconnect. But this is going to be the last chance we have to fix any problems with his trajectory, because he has no fuel in him. He is going to have electric charge, which is nice, so he'll be able to aim himself retrograde once we hit the atmosphere. But he's not going to have very much chance to do anything else. So 98 right now. Let's get it down to, as I said, 35. And you know what? We can leave Moon's sphere of influence together. We're going to detach. We're going to turn Force Science back on so that Val gets science data as she goes, although she won't actually get any because all she's got is the mystery goo. And actually now Bob is sitting here with nothing to do. Val, on the other hand, needs to aim prograde. A bit prograde, more like this, in order to burn her periapsis up to, let's say, oops, she's going down. That's retrograde. I'm stupid. She wants her periapsis up to, say, 100. We're going to miss this pass too, so she's going to have several orbits to meet up with Moon, which is perfectly fine by me. Okay, so let's warp to here with Bob. Aim him kind of the way he's going to be going, which I failed to do very well. Okay, we are now failing miserably to that wasn't the parachute, was it? No, it was not. As long as it wasn't the parachute, I don't really care. We're basically good now. Kerbal Space Center, everybody down there is watching everything explode on his ship. They're terrified on his behalf. He seems to be okay with it. And Bob has successfully returned to Kerbin, a hero of the people. And also, he should be at 1 star now, which is nice. Let's see, 724 science, 340,000 total dollars. Bob has got a star. We've got 126 reputation. Just going to show you here. Oops, I don't want to upgrade it. The leadership initiative, we can go up to 25% at this level of building. Any higher, the building won't let us do it. But I could buy this right now. And if it comes to the end of this series and I haven't won, I'm going to be mad that I didn't do this. But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to try to do this without touching the admin building, except for upgrading it to win. So, guess who's next? Who's next is Val with her Moonlander, because we got to get her to Minmus, and we've also got to close her landing gear because she was not born in a barn. Okay, Minmus is right there. So we are going to, at her periapsis, burn out to encounter Minmus, which is a tiny, tiny burn. And then we're going to go into the maneuver editor and jump that forward. Yeah, we need to go a little bit faster, and we'll just catch it kind of on the fall back down. There we go. So let's focus view on Minmus. Let's make this, might as well, if we're putting all this work into it, we might as well make it as good as we can. And we're doing this all before we build the next ship, because we might end up using the money and science that she's going to get for getting into orbit around Minmus. Oh, by the way, we've got more stuff. We returned home from the surface of the moon. We returned from a flyby of the moon. We returned home from orbit of the moon. And we gathered scientific data from the moon. We got money for all that. So let's delete those. And fast forward 11 days. That's good enough. And this is a tiny, tiny, tiny little burn. So tiny that I'm going to thrust limit her engine down, just to make it a little less tiny. A little more doable. Just want it over 10. There we go. Now at this periapsis, she needs to slow down. I see no reason not to get her into a nice low orbit. And Val will have achieved the exact mission that she had set out to achieve, which is no small feat in this space center. And now we need to build a ship that can come up here, attach to her, land, and then probably send her home in order to continue on to wherever our next destination is. We're also going to hop out just to get a couple more things. We have initiated flyby of the sun. Oh, our piece of debris has successfully escaped Kerbin's sphere of influence, which is nice. Flyby of Minmus, orbit of Minmus, and a spacewalk around Minmus. Those are all nice. But we are going to have to head back to the Space Center now, and with our meager 45,000, which makes this really intriguing, but we just can't do it. And all the science we could probably ever want. We could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We could almost unlock the entire tree, but probably not. We can definitely get all the things we want, like this, and fuel systems, and construction. And we might want these. I don't know yet. Probably don't need those. Yeah, the experiment control station. This will allow us to leave an experiment thing on Minmus. We couldn't do that on Moon, but we can do it on Minmus. And then the P would be nice. Especially, yeah, I do want to get this because this gives us protective shells. That means we definitely want the P. And then the pomegranate, why not? And we got one more thing we can bring with us. Better landing gear. Not really all that necessary on Minmus. I think I might sit on this 101 science and see if there's anything else we want to buy with it later. But now it's time for me to build a ship to do the next mission, so I will see you then. And as a new day dawns, we've got a new ship, the Minmus 2. Oh, unable to launch, that's right. We need to upgrade some things. Let's upgrade the vehicle assembly building. There we go. That's looking nice. It's cutting into our research and development upgrade fees, but I think the money we're going to make from Minmus will be plenty. The ship is so named the Minmus 2, not because it is the second ship to go to Minmus, which it is, but it's the first that's designed to go to Minmus. But it's named the Minmus 2 because, and he can... There we go, turn on our SAS. He's named the Minmus 2 because I made a Minmus 1 and didn't like it. Then I made him Minmus 2. It's that simple. Bob can hold prograde here, or not prograde, but he can turn on SAS because he has a probe core on him, which is nice. He's also got liquid fuel in the side tanks here. So about when the solid fuel runs out is also about when the liquid fuel runs out, and then he can kick these tanks aside. And have mostly full tanks in the center stack, which is nice. Okay, we have achieved space with enough fuel in the tank to probably get all the way to Minmus. Ignore the fact that this thing hovers over here. This is a restock thing. I loved this thing enough to justify putting this on it. I could have slid this up so that it attached to it, like it looked like it attached to it. but I didn't care enough. So that's just the way that works. Bob's ship is pretty simple. It does have a materials bay on it, even though Val has one, because I don't want to have to drag Val's ship all the way down. I want Bob to do the dock thing with Val, and then just go down, land, and then come back up. Not doing anything special. We're not didn't burn into a 6-degree orbit to match Minmus's orbit or anything crazy like that. I don't care enough to do that kind of thing. We should have an easy enough time just getting there. There we go. And I'm going to focus view on him. And then we have a target. We're coming in the wrong way. Let's get our editor out here. So if we speed up, no, that's bad. Let's slow down. No, I guess it is speed up, it's just not as much as we had. And when I say speed up, I'm actually changing the time. There we go. That's fine. That's actually perfectly fine. We can fix the rest of it once we're on our way out. And I had talked about sending up those ground science bases. I've kind of soured on that idea. First of all, I don't think I need the science, and secondly, it's a lot of money and a lot more stuff to carry, which means a lot more fuel, which means a lot more money, which means it's actually probably going to end up making it harder for me. So I decided I'm just not going to do them. I'm going to ignore those experiments. We're going to get by on the science we get just from going to these places, which should be more than enough. And again, just like on Moon, my goal is not to get my orbit matching. My goal is to get my periapsis on Val's orbit. So something like that. There we go. A little bit normal. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna have to tweak it once we get there anyway. But that's pretty close to perfect. And actually, that's almost like, if we nail that, we could probably just get the encounter right there, which would be funny. There we go. Yeah, my original plan for this ship was this just got it into orbit, and I tossed it. But I want enough fuel to get this whole thing to Gilly. And I want to make sure that it has plenty of fuel to get all the way to Eve and Gilly and stuff like that. And 1467 seems like a reasonable amount, especially considering it's got to land on Minmus here as well. Hilariously, we could, right here, slow it down and burn a little bit north. That's going to be really close. Then we can just meet him probably at that point. So assuming we can do this burn here, which is very reasonable considering once we throttle up, it's going to jump down to a 16-second burn. We should be fine. So let's get aimed at it. And I'm glad I hit F5 because that is nowhere near where I said to be. So I'm going to hit F9. And we're gonna warp a little bit slower here. We're gonna focus on Minmus. And we're gonna warp to here. There we go. And I don't remember if Val hopped out, so we're gonna have Bob hop out and then back in just to get that EVA report. I don't want to delete the maneuver node. But we could almost just do this as an encounter. But I don't want to get cocky. So, 113 seconds, or 113 meters per second left in this stage. Let's just go right down to 0 here. Oh, and this is going to get loud. I'm sorry. Get ready. When I stage, I've got sparks on the other stage just because they're so efficient. But they're frustratingly loud, and I'm not going to have time to turn the volume down. And now. Hopefully that won't hit the other ship as well as it's going to. Yeah, I'm ignoring the maneuver node now, and I might not have should have. Yeah, we got a 4-second burn. We're going to be 1.7 kilometers away in Less than a second. So yeah, I did it bad. I'm wasting fuel. Although we've got 2980, so the guess was wrong. There we go. 2 minutes and 4 seconds. We're going to be within 100 meters. I think we'll call that fair. We're just going to go down land and come back up. We'll land in the most convenient spot. It literally does not matter. But Val is going to be the one to go to Gilly. Val will do the actual docking, because she is the professional pilot after all. Very likely the next ship I send up will have RCS, but still we're doing this without. And rotate to dock, and we have officially successfully docked. Very nice. Okay, so Bob is in the ship that's going down. So go ahead, Bob. I guess hop out, get a low EVA report while Val does the dance. So Val has gone in here. She's the one who's going to go to Gilly, but she's not going to be the one that that goes down to Minmus. So let's go ahead and transfer her back to here. And then Bob can dock. Board anyway. Dump your experiments. Yeah, they don't matter. Any duplicates I don't care about. And we have got all our Minmus stuff, which is nice. And pick a spot to land. And I see no reason not to land right here. Make sure we're not going to hit anything. And boom. That should be fine. Looks good. Hit F5, because even if it looks good, doesn't mean it's going to actually end up good. And let's do the time warp again. See, that's why you save, because I did not know I was going to be that close to that cliff there. That's funny. I thought I deleted my maneuver node. Oh, I can't delete the maneuver node because he's no longer in. He has a big antenna, so he can reach back to Kerbal Space Center, but we're on the opposite side of the planet right now from it. So no biggie. We'll just live with that maneuver node. The annoying thing is I don't get my time to crash indicator. But what are you gonna do? We'll have to do it the old-fashioned way, with moxie and grit. Perhaps some verve. And definitely some thrust. And landing gear. Yay! Okay. Bob, you're getting good at this. Go ahead and hop out. And just to show, stored data above Minmus's surface and EVA report from Minmus's surface. I'm not sure why he doesn't have a surface sample. Did we not unlock surface samples yet? Is that an R&D thing? That is for sure true. We cannot get surface samples because we haven't unlocked them yet, and we aren't going to because we are 200 or 20,000 shy, not counting any ships we purchase, any upgrades we get. So yeah, we're not going to get surface samples. That's unfortunate, but what are you going to do? Minmus among us. Let's see. Where's the door on this thing? I think it's here. Yeah, because he would have just gone backwards. Okay, and we should just launch. Is that east? Yeah, east and a little bit north, I guess. Tell you what, I think this is a good place to end the episode. on a cliffhanger. Will I be able to launch into orbit? I hope you enjoyed watching this. I definitely enjoyed playing it. I'm Superfluous Jay, and I will, as always, talk at you later.